The Lord spoke to Abram, commanding him to leave his homeland and family behind. God promised Abram to bless him and make his descendants a great nation. Abram obeyed God's command, leaving Haran at the age of 75. Abram took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all their possessions. They journeyed to the land of Canaan, a land promised by God. Abram traveled to Shechem and reached the great oak tree of Moreh. The Lord appeared to Abram, saying, "I will give this land to your descendants." Abram built an altar at Shechem to honor God's promise and presence. He then moved to the hills east of Bethel and set up his tent. Abram built another altar there and called upon the name of the Lord. Due to a severe famine in Canaan, Abram journeyed to Egypt for relief. Abram warned Sarai that the Egyptians might harm him because of her beauty. He asked her to say she was his sister to protect him from danger. When they entered Egypt, the people praised Sarai's beauty to Pharaoh. Pharaoh took Sarai into his palace, believing she was Abram's sister. Because of Sarai, Pharaoh treated Abram well, giving him riches and livestock. But the Lord sent plagues upon Pharaoh's household for taking Sarai as his wife. Pharaoh realized Sarai was Abram's wife and summoned him in anger. Pharaoh demanded Abram to take Sarai and leave Egypt immediately. Abram, Sarai, and their possessions left Egypt. Guided by the Lord's mercy, they returned to Canaan, where Abram sought God's guidance and protection. Abram trusted God's promise despite the trials and uncertainties he faced. His faith in God's promise became a foundation for generations to come. God's covenant with Abram would bless all the nations on earth. Even when faced with adversity, Abram's faith in God remained unwavering. Abram's journey shows us the power of faith and obedience to God. Despite hardships, Abram's trust in God's plan brought blessings and prosperity. Abram's willingness to follow God laid the foundation for a great nation. Abram's legacy reminds us to trust God's promises in all situations. God's plans may not always be clear, but his guidance never fails. From Abram's journey, we learn patience and resilience in our faith. God's promises to Abram transcend time, affecting all believers. Even in the most difficult moments, God's blessings are ever present. Abram's journey to Egypt was a test of faith and integrity. Abram's obedience to God protected his family and preserved their future. The message God gives through this story is clear. Trust in his plan, and blessings will follow in his time.